Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Tuesday, March the 7th. It's Taco Tuesday, so hopefully Prizepicks puts out some good tacos today. The first taco should be coming out pretty soon. I'm recording this video around 12 Eastern time, and I think that's usually when they do put out the first taco. So we'll see what kind of discounted projection we get for today. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it hits, but I got two picks that I'm going to share in this video, guys. As always, we're going to talk through these two plays. We're going to share why I like them. I got a fantasy score prop I like for today, and then I have a points prop I like for today. So before we do talk through these two plays, just make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you've never checked them out before, you can sign up, use my promo code Noah. When you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, they will match your first deposit up to $100. So basically, whatever you deposit out of the gate, they'll double that. So you deposit 50, they'll give you an additional 50 to play with. You deposit 100, they'll give you an additional 100 to play with. So it's a cool match that they do. Use that promo code Noah when you do sign up, so that way you do get that deposit match. And I do want to recap our two plays from yesterday before we talk through the two plays for today. So yesterday, unfortunately, we did not hit both of our plays. We only hit one of our two plays yesterday, and of course, it was Bam Adebayo who let us down. I feel like I don't know how many times I've taken a Bam prop this season, but he's one of the guys I just feel like I can never get right. We took the over on his PRA yesterday. We took it at 31.5, and it actually got bumped up a good amount. I think his line might have even got bumped up 2 points. I think it got bumped up to 33.5. And he finished with like 28 or 29 PRA, came up just short, which was super annoying. I wound up taking his fantasy score in one of my entries that I gave out on Patreon, and he hit his fantasy score, but he didn't hit his PRA. I probably would have took his fantasy score instead of PRA had fantasy score been available. That's one of the reasons I really don't like making my videos like the night before, just because they don't have fantasy scores up the night before, and those are usually like my favorite props to target. So that was kind of unfortunate. I probably would have played his fantasy score over PRA had fantasy score been available, and he hit that, but he didn't hit his PRA. That was annoying. But we did take the over. We did take the under, on Trae Young's turnovers. We took that under 4.5. His line actually got bumped down to 4. He finished with 3 turnovers, so that under cashed. But unfortunately, the over on Bam's PRA did not cash. But hopefully, we can bounce back today, guys, for this Tuesday slate. It's a pretty decent slate. I think we have 8 games tonight, so plenty of options to choose from. And let's go ahead and talk through the two plays I like for today. So for the fantasy score, I want to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie, who I think is in a really good spot here against the Rockets. His fantasy score line, it sits at 35.5 on Prizepicks, and I do like the over here for Spencer Dinwiddie. I think it's a really good matchup for Dinwiddie. We've seen the Rockets be kind of, I would say the best matchup possible for a point guard. You look kind of like at the DVP stats, the Rockets are giving up the most fantasy points per game to point guards this season, and it's by a pretty wide margin. It's by like 4 or 5 points to the next team. So this is one of the best possible matchups you could ask for. You look at Dinwiddie's last 5 games, he's been consistently going over this fantasy score line, or at least coming up close to it. The game against the Knicks, it's worth noting that game was a blowout. So this game where he had 31.4 fantasy points, he only played 29 minutes in that game. That game, was a blowout. I think Brooklyn lost by like 30 in that one. Let me pull up the game real quick. They lost that game by like 24 or 25 points. So in that game, he only played 29 minutes. Now, the game against Atlanta, he did play big minutes against Atlanta. He played 41 minutes against them and only had 32.8 fantasy points, which was, a little bit of an outlier. Normally, when Dinwiddie plays 41 minutes with this Nets team, he's going to average, more than 32.8 fantasy points. But he came up short in that game. But every other game against Milwaukee, against, the Celtics, and then last game against Charlotte, he has gone over this fantasy score. This game against Houston should be competitive. It's being played in Houston, which I think makes it more likely the game is close. Plus, the Rockets are starting to get healthy again. Kevin Porter Jr. is back. Jalen Green is back. I think the spread in this game is only like 6.5. So we should expect a competitive game here. And the Nets have been running a really, really tight rotation lately. They're fighting for playoff position. They want to win games to potentially get into the play-in or make the playoffs. So they need to win as many games as they can over the final stretch of the season. And we're seeing them play Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, huge minutes. I think Mikal played over 40 minutes last game, and Dinwiddie played 39 minutes. They pretty much ran an 8-man rotation last game, even though 10 guys played. 2 guys only played less than 7 minutes. Cam Thomas played 6 minutes, and Yuta Watanabe played 5 minutes. They played Joe Harris 17 minutes. They played Seth Curry 16 minutes, and then they played Royce O'Neal 18 minutes. But you got 33 minutes from Dorian Finney-Smith, 35 minutes from Cam Johnson, 26 minutes from Nick Claxton, and then again 39 from Dinwiddie and 41 from Mikal Bridges. So it seems like, especially Bridges and Dinwiddie, those are going to be the two guys playing really, really heavy minutes. The offense is going to run through those two guys. Since Dinwiddie got traded to Brooklyn, he's averaged over a fantasy point per minute. He's had a really good usage rate, 23.3% usage rate, which has been the third highest on the team, behind Mikal, behind Cam Johnson. Again, he's averaged over a fantasy point per minute. This matchup is as good as it gets against Houston. Houston has no defense whatsoever. They have the second worst defensive rating this season. They give up the most fantasy points per game to point guards. You cannot ask for a better spot for Spencer Dinwiddie here. So if we're going to get 36 plus minutes from Dinwiddie in a great matchup, given he's averaged over a fantasy point per minute this season, yeah, give me the over on Spencer Dinwiddie's fantasy score at 35.5 today as our first play for today. And then the next play that I like is going to be a points prop. I'll be honest, I absolutely hate betting on this guy. I feel like anytime I've taken an over on him, he just never comes through. But man, this line really stood out to me when I was first taking a look at the board. And it's going to be Dillon Brooks. His points prop of 14.5. I just think it's too low here. No Ja Morant for this game, and no Ja Morant for the foreseeable future. Ja Morant was obviously out last game, but Dillon Brooks was suspended last game, so Dillon Brooks did not play, but he's going to play today. This points prop of 14.5 just feels too low. So give me the over on 14.5 points for Dillon Brooks. Obviously, if you look at his last 5 games, it's going to be pretty underwhelming because he's only gone over this in one of his last 5 games. He's been playing pretty terrible lately, but with no Ja Morant, that is a massive, massive boost for Dillon Brooks. And if you look at like the on-off splits this season with Ja Morant off the floor, Dillon Brooks has been one of the biggest beneficiaries. Him and Jaren Jackson Jr. have seen the biggest bump in usage, 5.7% bump in usage for Jaren Jackson Jr., which is the highest on the team. 5.4% bump in usage for Dillon Brooks, which is second highest on the team. Per 36 without Ja this season, Dillon Brooks is averaging close to 21 points per 36. And I think barring a blowout here, which I don't think we'll see a blowout here, this game should be competitive. Barring foul trouble, I think Dillon Brooks plays over 30 minutes. He might play close to 36 minutes. And we know Dillon Brooks is a player that is not afraid to shoot. Now, he is a very, very inefficient shooter. He will have games where he shoots the ball terribly, but that doesn't stop him from shooting. Like, he'll go out there and take 20 plus shots, even if his shot's not falling. So that's kind of the reason. That's one of the main reasons I like this points prop, is just because I think we know for the most part the volume is going to be there. There might be some inefficiency that comes along with that, but I think this line at 14.5, even if Dillon Brooks is kind of inefficient shooting the ball, he can still get us 15 points. He's played 8 games this season without Ja Morant. He's over this line in 7 out of 8 games. He's had 31 points, 30, 19, 18, 17, 15, 15, and then 13. So technically, he's played 8 games without Ja this season, and he's had at least 13 points in all 8 of those games. He's had at least 15 points in 7 out of 8. And even, you look at the field goal attempts in these games and how many shots he's taken. 30, 20, 22, 11, 22, 13, 18, 15. So he's taken at least 11 shots in every single game without Ja this season. He's taken 20 plus shots in 4 out of 8 games without Ja this season. Again, he's not afraid to shoot, and this points prop I think is just too low for a guy that's probably going to take close to 20 shots, maybe 15, 20 shots, even if he is inefficient, which he tends to be shooting the ball. This line does still feel too low to me. And plus, the matchup against the Lakers is really good. The Lakers been playing fast this season. Their defense has kind of been come and go. Some nights they'll be strong defensively. Some nights they really struggle defensively. But I think the matchup is definitely good for Dillon Brooks. I like the bump that he gets without Ja. I think because he's been playing so poorly lately, the books they couldn't put his line too high. But normally when Ja Morant's been out this season, we see Dillon Brooks' points prop be like 17.5, 18.5. I think the fact that because he's been so bad lately, they couldn't put the line that high. 14.5 definitely feels too low to me. So that's what I like as our 2 picks for today, guys. More than 35.5 fantasy score for Spencer Dinwiddie, more than 14.5 points for Dillon Brooks, and we did just get a taco. The taco just got added, so it's going to be Mikal Bridges' points prop of 20.5. I would think that's a pretty good bet here in a good matchup against Houston. I don't like playing 2 props on the same team. Like, I don't really like playing Dinwiddie and Bridges together, but you are getting a discounted projection. So that definitely is something you could add to these 2 picks if you wanted to. The over on 20.5 points for Mikal Bridges as the first taco for today. That is available until 3 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys get that in. And obviously after that taco goes away, I think there will be 2 more that they add. They'll do like an NHL taco, and then they'll do another taco for the late night NBA games. yeah, take advantage of that taco while it's still available, and the rest of the discounts they give out throughout the day. And if you guys are not signed up for Prizepicks yet, again, make sure you use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But that's all that I got for today, guys. Hopefully we can bounce back today. NBA has definitely been frustrating lately. Some of this, we've had a lot of close calls. We've had some BS stuff like foul trouble and blowouts cost us. Some have just kind of been bad reads on my part, but hopefully today's the day we can really get back on track, right the ship, hit all 3 of these plays, including the taco. But that's what I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure, again, you hit that like button down below if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Hopefully we can all win some money tonight on this Taco Tuesday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.